Hey, what's up, fam? How you doing out there? It is episode 23. Michael Jordan. This is the Michael Jordan episode of the C&C Podcast. We are super excited. We got an awesome guest, a captain in the community, a man with floaty. He's like I can't even give away all the good stuff we're about to talk about. Let me introduce our co-host. We got Mr. Shades himself. How you doing over there, Shades?
Good morning to you.
His nickname's Shades with no shades on today, but maybe you'll see him a little later. We got 3-ball 34, the man, the myth, the very tall legend.
What's up, King Brett? What's up, Glenn?
Hey, what's up?
And last but definitely not least, we have the man known around the community. Dun, dun, dun. His name is James Dylan Bond. Welcome, my friend. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. Thank you guys for having me on here. Excited to chat a little bit more today.
Dude, we're excited to have you on. There's so much great stuff to cover, and we appreciate you being on because we know the next 34 to 48 hours are about to be really crazy for you, and we'll break into that here in a minute. But we're very excited to have you. 3-ball has 982 questions for you today, so we're going to move pretty quickly.
Exactly.
But, dude, excited to have you on.
No, I'm excited to be here. I know you guys brought my fellow Rip Hack City community member, Scotty J, on here about a month or so ago. So those are some big footprints to try to follow into.
That's
Shout out to Scotty J. We love him and all of our Blazers community. What's up, Rip Pack City? Can't believe we have you here, and it took so long. Excited to have you and excited to break down some stuff with you.
Absolutely.
We're definitely going to talk Top Shot and definitely talk Blazers. You've met so many people in the community, and there's so much that we could bring up on screen. But King Brett alluded to it. You have a lot going on in your personal life. You have a beautiful wife that you post to us all the time, and you guys have some big news coming out. Here's 2 really cool pictures that you've posted recently, and I want to break this down a little bit because you got to be have a really cool wife to be able to do different things that you're showing us. But tell us about 2 of these pictures right here and some things that you guys have going on.
Well, so actually she is my fiance, though we've been together a long time.
Common law.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, she almost had squatters' rights.
Yes.
But so this was really cool. And there is actually good stories behind each of these. So I'll start with the one on the right, which is the one on the court. So
That's so badass.
I love how you say it like no big deal. I mean, it's just one of me and my fiance on a court holding basketball. No one else there. I'm pretty much a big deal.
We got this. This was, you had to have 2 things in order to get this private photo shoot on the Blazers court. You had to be a season ticket holder, and you had to have claimed the Blazers digital collectible that they had in arena. So they had this. It was on the jumbotrons. It was out in the hallways and everything like that. That you could scan the QR code and it would claim into your Dapper wallet. And it was basically the little backboard there with the narration from the Blazers announcers for when Damian became the franchise's all-time leading scorer. So it was like the double whammy. You had to have both, and it really kind of forced some season ticket holders to claim this into their create a wallet and claim this into it. It was really cool. I mean, that was in itself amazing because the Blazers VP of marketing, who's also on paternal leave right now, he is a Top Shot collector in our community, has been very active, and he really worked with us on this in terms of, I mean, we didn't do anything on like the product side of that, but he wanted to like help promote it. So he hopped on a Twitter Spaces with us right as like 2 minutes after it went live in terms of going like the press release out on like NBA.com and everything about it. And it was really neat. They gave us a bunch of tickets to hand out to our community, just because they knew that obviously it was the Blazers digital collectible night. So they wanted as many of like our community there. So we gave away a bunch of tickets. They gave us discounts on to even buy additional ones. And so that's how we were able to get this, was being a season ticket holder and holding that in our collection. And so we had a whole, 20-minute photo shoot on the court.
That's awesome.
Wow.
That's so cool.
Did you guys shoot any baskets?
Yep, we did. So that I know my profile picture on Twitter, I think, is it was like framed, her shooting on the basket, and I'm like contesting it. But yeah, they were getting some live action shots on it and everything like that. And then in addition to that, so then that was really the story for the first one. The second one is when we were in Amsterdam.
What up?
Yep.
Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, that's a badass picture. I like it.
So we did this, and we got like a private photo shoot that we paid for. So these are like the 2 photo shoots I've ever done in my entire life until
You nailed it, dude.
And rocking the jerseys. That's the
You
future of
nailed it.
fandom right there. Let's get our photos made.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, what a cool fiance to go along with both of these.
Oh yeah. And so we did like all the nice clothing ones, but then we had to do a few photos in our Blazers outfits.
Yeah.
Because the Blazers have this whole "Where in the World," and it's WEAR. So it's the idea is getting people to wear Blazers stuff in places other than Portland.
Love it.
And so we submitted this, and I know as soon as I think I was at the game for this one, but then my phone started blowing up when I was at the game, and they're like, "Holy shit! Like, your photos made it to the Where in the World." And so I think I posted on Instagram or something like that, where it was the actual screenshot someone sent me of it, it showing up on the Blazers broadcast and it being featured and stuff. But this was really great. Our last, it was my first Europe trip. We did Amsterdam. We did some spots in Switzerland, and it was. Baby was probably conceived out there.
I was going to just make a joke about that. I was like, that's probably, was that 9 months ago?
Yeah, it was, as a matter of fact. It was like the week before Valentine's Day, so almost exactly 9 months ago.
Wow.
And then that's the new alpha, as you are expecting a baby girl that should be here any day. And when this comes out next week, we'll be all celebrating with you. So very excited for you.
Yeah, she will be here by then, hopefully.
Which NBA team will she be rooting for?
She's got a Bill Walton onesie already.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm not even upset.
So you already know.
Yeah,
that's a nice tease to a segment we have coming up later that we're going to definitely touch on Bill Walton and the 76ers. So excited about that. Excuse me, not 76ers, Trailblazers. I read some notes wrong. Very exciting for you and for that moment.
You were actually kind of close with that, since Bill Walton did lead us to a championship in 1977. So I'd like to think that you were just a year off on that.
That's what it was.
That's what it was.
I'm already taking notes. I'm like, okay, how can I go to Amsterdam? Hey, babe, we're going to do a private photo shoot in Europe. You in? Okay, let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the way I can tell her. I love it. I'm learning so much already.
So let's loop King Brett back in again. Trevor, where did you get engaged?
Vegas.
Oh,
Vegas. There you go.
Vegas and Amsterdam.
Yeah,
me too.
I knew love that.
I'm sure you guys are all relatively same age as me, 33, but we were there for the Lovers and Friends Music Festival last year, which is all early 2000s hip hop and R&B. It was headlined by, it was Lovers and Friends, so Usher, Lil Jon, Ludacris.
What up?
And so then it had at least like 30, 40 acts that were going on for like 13 hours that day.
Wow.
And then the next day we went up on the high roller and right outside the links, like almost like a Ferris wheel, and proposed on top of that.
Nice.
Dude, so epic.
Congrats, my dude. I saw that video online. That's awesome. I knew that King Brett is definitely a Vegas guy and loves it out there, so I knew that would definitely tie to him. Glenn, you like the Vegas?
Do I like Vegas? Yeah, it's pretty good. I haven't been there in a while.
Vegas.
I'm actually almost
Vegas.
You say you're 33. I'm almost 43. I'm actually turning 43 next month. But
Hi, Dad.
King Brett, you're like 58, right?
Whoa, just because my people that doesn't mean that's true.
Shout out to all ages in C&C. What up, fam?
18
So all fathers and future fathers. Hello.
There you go.
Well, let's go to a throwback real quick. Not to roast you too much. I couldn't find a picture of myself here with the big shorts, but back in like the 90s, everybody rocked these. And when you posted this, I thought of one person. Shout out to Torque. He's going to love the TJ Ford. But the big shorts, dude, like, everybody.
Where'd you find this?
Look at that picture.
Double XLs. You said you still owned them, but it cracked me up when you posted the throwback picture, and I immediately thought of everybody post TJ Ford now when we talk about the 90s looks. So I thought that was funny. I definitely had shorts that big.
I don't even know where you pulled this from, bro.
Oh, we do deep dives. Don't you worry.
Dude, it's worse than jealous ex-girlfriend with 3-ball. Believe me. He looks at everything.
Man. So this fun fact, this was the day before my 18th birthday. I had just finished my Eagle Scout project.
Nice.
And so standing next to it right there, that little sign, I made placards all around on this little boardwalk here, talking about basically little fun facts about the lake and maps around it, where the loading docks were, what kind of fish were in the lake and everything like that. And they were all mounted and put with all kinds of cool protective things on it.
Nice.
Earth to Treaticus. Are you hearing all this stuff? You guys have a bond. I love it. Parks and Rec, baby.
Director.
Yeah. So what's the energy in Portland like right now for the Blazers? Obviously, they're in a little bit of a rebuild.
Back to basketball. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it, Glenn.
So what do you think? Are people hopeful? Do they know it's going to be a rebuild for the next 2 to 4 years? How do you think the vibe is?
It was tough. It was a tough summer. Like when the Dame news came out that he requested a trade, my fiance and I had a real serious conversation of, hey, do we renew our season tickets or not? Not only with Dame going, but also knowing that she was pregnant, we were going to be missing a bunch of games.
Right.
Are we going to have to like sell a bunch of tickets under the cost during that time? And really, we just kind of like, we're going to miss it. There's no way we're going to like drop off now, because this is our 8th season being season ticket holders.
Oh,
so
wow, really cool, man.
Yeah, it'd be hard to leave that behind, but with Scoot being injured for most of the season so far, Anthony Simon's out. It's a little tough. There's definitely some blood in the streets in terms of a little bit lack of people excited about where we're at currently. Hopefully Scoot comes back and gets into form pretty quickly. Fortunately, we got someone like Tumani Kamara, who's really balling out for us as a really late second-round pick, and has really impressed us. But when we went to the Blazers versus Lakers game, I don't know if we want to get into Rip-Pack City right now.
Yeah, sure. We can. Y'all took like 1 billion people to that game, right? 30 people or something?
Yeah, we brought 30 to that one.
Awesome.
And it was, pretty great because it was LeBron's only time in town this year. And it's just a Laker game. They always sell really well. But we got a heads up from the Blazers a week ahead of time, and they're like, hey, do you want some boxes for this game? And I'm like, nah, we're broke, dog. And they're like, well, how about, we give you this deal with it like 33% off. I'm like, nah, I can't do it. And he's like, what if we did buy one, get one on top of it? And I'm like, okay. Like,
you're talking my language.
Yeah. And so we got a few boxes for that, but then it was the rest of the boxes were pretty vacant. Other than the ones we got, there was a lot of empty seats, and that's kind of been a common trend. Even last night, we played the Thunder with SGA and Chet, and I sold that one, but you could tell there was going to be a lot of vacancies for that game, and it's unfortunate. Our team, we have some of the framework there, but it's down. Dame was our Lord and Savior here as part of the Rip City community.
Yeah, I'll just say that it's tough when you're in between. If you're really good competing for a championship, then you know that's really great. And if you're rebuilding, then you're trying to get more draft picks, trying to get draft assets. I feel like the Blazers, for the most part, since Dame's been there, have been competitive, but you never really thought they were a championship contender. Is that fair?
I don't know. We made it to the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
What up?
Okay.
And I'd say that was a really good year for us. I think we were a Nurkic injury away from really making noise and playing well against the Warriors. Enes Kanter that year, he was getting cooked on the high pick and rolls, and then getting forced on Steph Curry and just absolutely getting killed by it.
Yeah.
And that was something where then we were trying to experiment some small ball, and it just really kind of fell apart there. But that year was really big for us because that was also the year of the wave.
That's right. Yeah.
Over Paul George there. And we had the Nuggets. We beat them in 7 with a 4 overtime game in there. But yeah, that was the year we thought that we might have had a chance, and we just needed to catch a little fire. But it was during our series then that the Warriors really started falling apart in terms of injury. And by the end of it, they hobbled into the NBA Finals and weren't themselves against the Raptors.
Gotcha.
I feel like your team has, for the last 5-6 years, been plagued by injuries. It's like you've always had a big guy get hurt at the wrong time in the wrong spot when you needed them the most.
I think that's our franchise in general. Every era of Blazers basketball has been plagued by a big man injury, going from Nurkic consistently the last few years to Greg Oden to Sam. It's been tough, and I know Bill Walton had a little bit of issues back in the day too, but at least he was able to deliver.
Well, that's the second reference, so I'll go ahead and jump in there. I have a brand new segment that I wanted to introduce to the guys called Sticky Icky Wiki, and things I found on Wikipedia while searching about you and about the Blazers and different things. Bill Walton comes up a ton, obviously with the championship and MVPs, and was just a flat stud, but injuries definitely plagued that man when he was at UCLA, when he was with you guys. And I didn't really know about him sitting out the year after the championship. 78-79 decided that he wasn't getting treated right because of the injuries. And we've seen that a lot more in like current day times, Kawhi and others that are unhappy with the training staff. That feels more of like a newer thing, but Bill did it back in the late 70s and said, if you're not going to take good care of me, like I'm going to sit out. That's crazy back then.
Yeah, I can't really speak upon too much on that. That's like a dozen years before I was born.
Right.
However,
we're trying to make you feel good, Glenn. Going back to your era.
I remember it well. I was 28.
Injuries at UCLA, multiple foot injuries and back injuries that he was dealing with. Multiple injuries with this foot again when he joined the Blazers. Yeah. And then on Wikipedia, it says that he was involved in a Jeep accident that had like 3 or 4 injuries. So like you talk about how many games he played at UCLA for four full years, which doesn't happen as much anymore. He was just beat up by the time he got here. And if you look at the amount of regular season games he played for you guys, for San Diego / the Clippers, and then even the Celtics, he was not playing anywhere close to full seasons. He was sitting out a ton. Just trying to make it through, and said his body was super beat up. So just pretty crazy. Learning a little bit about his injury background and looking into the Blazers history.
And that's some deep dives right there. I know there's like videos of him when there was the parade. I think he lived in the neighborhood I used to live in there, and he rode his bike down to the parade. And
wow.
It was one of those like from a movie scene kind of things where as he's like riding past people, like, it's Bill Walton. And like they start like running down the street with him kind of thing.
That's awesome. It's like Rocky's running down the road.
Yeah, exactly. And all of a sudden, like he almost like led a whole wave of people to the parade.
That's so awesome.
Well, to be fair, there was so much drug use back then. He probably couldn't have operated a car anyway.
Wow. Wow.
That's fair.
I don't know if it's just back then. I think most of us, Glenn, know him now as a deadhead and saying crazy things on the sidelines. That dude is hilarious, wearing some sort of big pink shirt, doing commentating.
Yeah,
greatness. So several instances about Rip Pack City being one of the OG collector communities. You mentioned several times about having communication with the Blazers, and then you mentioned you guys having a digital collectible night that wasn't even a part of Top Shot, which shows us that the Blazers are even thinking about blockchain technology outside of this. Like, they're already ahead, which is why they've kind of accepted you guys so quickly. Tell us a little bit about what those conversations have been like.
Yeah. So I guess to pave the way to that, we'd have to go back about a year and a half ago, right before the team captains program really came to be. We had, Rip Pack City was around about a year before that. We did the last game of the season, and we got, I think it was boxes or suites for that night. I forgot. And we had a lot of Dapper Labs employees in the boxes with us, and they had invited some of the Blazers marketing team to come up and hang out with us. And at the time, the Blazers had put out a collectible on Ethereum. And it was just kind of part of the whole era there, where I think a lot of brands were being pushed to put out their own NFT to check the box of having that out there. A lot of places were looking at it as a revenue generation. And so they came up, and I kind of criticized the guy who was in charge of it. And I'm like, bro, like, it's just like the posters that we have around here, but you guys put it basically on there. What the hell? It's expensive, but it was, I think, good for them to be able to experiment as a large organization like that and kind of bring themselves into it. Now, I didn't really realize at the time that this guy was also a Top Shot collector. Fast forward about a year and a half, then is the Blazers digital collectible night, and we got heads up that this was kind of coming down the pipeline at some point, and kind of be prepared for it. And then, we got like a few day heads up. Hey, it's going to be this. No, it was in the Blazers app, like talking about upcoming events. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And like screenshotted it, put it out there. And then they reached out to me and they're like, yeah, that's going to be us. And that's going to be with Dapper Labs. And I'm like, oh, snap, that's dope. Because I was worried it was, going to be another one on ETH or something like that. Yeah. And so I knew that then that it was going to be a Dapper product going and living in Dapper Wallet, which is really great. And it came out, and I know they were putting out, like I said, the press releases and everything. We had maybe 15, 20 people there at that game. But it was cool just seeing that. And it's kind of what I feel like as a Top Shot collector going to games a lot. Like we always say that we want like kiosks and things like that around the arena. Right. And this was a good way to engage and try to get a lot of people up there.
I've heard that a couple times.
Their phone, scanning it. And what we found just from people around us, people around the other groups that were around there, that people are like, what is this thing? And it kind of became a conversation starter between like the season ticket holders that were around me, between like just the people who are sitting around a lot of the Rip Pack City folks and everything like that. So it was really cool. They put that out there. And I think everyone that did claim it ended up getting like $10 in Dapper credit like a week later. But having that relationship with the Blazers is really cool. We ran into the VP of marketing, like during when they were having that, and he was just telling us maybe a little bit about like how many people had scanned it already and things like that. And really having that relationship has been helpful.
That's awesome.
They've done things like offered free tickets like to that game. They offered us 2 really low tickets last Wednesday. They were down in like probably like 10 rows up. And we gave those away. They just hit us up, asked about it. It happened a handful of times last year too. We're having that relationship. They know that we're like a Blazer fandom group, so they really are. Hey, we got extra tickets. Do you want?
I was just about to say that. That's kind of what we've been looking for, as for the team knows that they have a pool of collectors who are fans, who really care about the team and are local. If you're looking to tap into that, just reach out to you or the captains.
Yep. And so they have liked what we've done. And so not only a marketing team, but also like the ticket sales team, being a season ticket holder for 8 years, I have a lot of relationships within that, but then also on like the group ticket sales. So I feel like we've really been able to harvest those relationships and really develop those over time. And so being able to get that, get a lot of tickets, and just kind of having that, I think that's really important. They offer us like going to a lot of season ticket holder events. In addition to like things that are in the arena, they'll have things like pumpkin patch kind of events, or I don't know if you guys saw the pictures from Mike G and I from when we did like a trash pickup day recently. That was like really cool. They do it every year, and I've done it the last few years, and I seem to always win a bunch of shit. Last year I won beer for a year, so I won like 370 beers. Nice. The year before that, I won that basketball autographed by the entire team.
Wow.
And then this year they offered us additional spots for it because they know I'm always there. And Mike G and Tom Wagney came out also, and Mike G came out and he won beer for half a year. So obviously we're some of the big winners of those events, but
yeah,
whenever there's like season ticket holder events like that, they always reach out and like, hey, if you want a few extras, no problem, bring out your community to it. We want to engage with them and have them be a part of it.
That's awesome.
Very cool. Before we get to our new game, I'll let Glenn intro. I want to bring up a couple in real life events. You guys had the Top Shot tour up that way, and got to meet and greet with an NBA legend. We'll talk about that one first. I think this is 2 different meetings here that you were able to hang out with TP. Tell us about those.
Yeah, so again, a little shout out to Mike G. He's done a lot of our outreach to athletes. He was able to get Peyton Pritchard to take a call with me, and then was able to get Terry Porter to take a call with me.
Very cool.
So the one on the left and top right there, those are from opening night last year. So this is what we reached out to Terry Porter for initially. He was in Croatia for when we went to have the negotiations with him. So I had to stay up for most of the night on a Friday night, and because he was going to call me at 1 a.m. On Friday night. Ended up getting pushed back to 4 a.m. So I fell asleep with the phone on my chest until he called me. Oh my God. But he was super cool guy, really nice. And it was really amazing to be able to work with him. But it was really interesting because he kept saying, I don't post-pandemic, I don't really have a relationship with members of the Blazers organization anymore. It's mostly turned over my time. I'm like, that's wrong. Like your jersey's hanging in the rafters here. Yeah. And so we wanted to make sure that during this event on opening night, we brought probably 60 people or more to that one. We wanted to make sure we connected him with the Blazers organization. And you see that in the top right photo there, where it's Mike G, Terry Porter, Dave, who's the VP of marketing for the Blazers now, and myself. But we want to make sure we hooked him up with Dave there, and other members of the Blazer staff, I think an operations team, who came out to our pregame event and everything like that, just to meet him, which was great because then he got a job with him.
That's awesome.
So he's on all of the Blazers broadcasts since then, and his job, I believe, is the alumni ambassador.
Making connections. I love that, man. That's really cool.
Yeah, so we brought him out to that, and then the one in the bottom right is from the tour. The Top Shot team was like, hey, we don't got anyone for it. Like, do you think you could hook us up with Terry Porter's phone number? I'm like, you sons of bitches.
I sure can make that connection. I know him.
Based on my last tag drop, the answer is no.
Yeah. So, hopefully we don't. I love Terry Porter. I've seen him a few times since then. Really nice guy. yeah, we need to hopefully get some more Blazer legends in building with us soon enough.
You mentioned Peyton Pritchard, which is University of Oregon, but then there's a couple other celebrities in these photos here.
God, you really,
and then of course Roham.
You did do a deep dive. God damn.
You get to hang out with everyone. Boston based, El Dumbo. I mean, it's just.
But Peyton Pritchard right there in the white tee. That's pretty sweet, man.
Yeah. So that was again, Mike G knew one of his friends. They had like mutual friends or something like that, and put basically a message out through his friends that we'd love to have him out. And he did. He came out to Top Golf with us. We had over 100 people at that event.
Wow.
That was back in right after we started receiving funding as part of the captain's program. So we brought out over 100 people. We brought up Peyton Pritchard. We had Blaze, the mascot, out for that game, and it was like 100 degrees at least for that. But it was really cool. Peyton Pritchard was really chill. He was just like, you don't really want anything extra. I'm like, dude, just chill, talk to people. If they want you to sign some stuff, that'd be dope. And he's like, I can do that. And like him and his friends were just like chilling, drinking with us and hanging out, swinging some clubs.
That's really cool.
Very cool.
King Brett, it's funny to hear people complain about 100-degree weather, isn't it?
I mean, it must not be bad in that.
Shout out from Texas.
Yeah, it must not be bad in that awesome Cool Cats jersey you have on there.
Oh no, that I got a lot of photos in my Cool Cats jerseys. I mean, hell, you can see it. You can honestly see it in both the pictures with Roham. I might be wearing it. No, actually, yeah. I think the one with the Rip Pack City, I might be wearing a Blazers jersey because I had just come from the NBA draft.
Very cool. You are everywhere.
Yeah, because those two on the left are from NFT NYC 2022.
Badass.
And so I was at the first mint party there on the left one with Dumbo, and that was my first time meeting him.
Shout which is pretty epic. The Deuce Brothers. What's up?
Love Dumbo, super great guy. I went on his podcast a few months ago, and like a week later, I pulled the LeBron record breaker anthology moment. So whenever there's a big pack drop coming up, try to get on one of his things.
Influencer pack. I love it.
Yeah, it's super rigged.
Code for you.
And then that one that was with Roham on the other side there with the Rip Pack City banner, that was from NFT NYC too. But like I said, I was sitting in the Top Shot suite because I was at the draft for NFT NYC. I'm like, hell, I need to get over there.
Yeah,
I was there. I was in the I had a seat, and then I got invited up to the suite there with like Jacob and a lot of other Top Shot employees and people that won tickets to it and stuff. And then I'm in there, and Dumbo texts me, and he's like, hey, like, do you want to come up to this Roham party? And I'm like, you know damn well I do.
I'm not even sure why you asked. Just
send me where to go.
Yeah. And so then like a couple of the Top Shot employees were like, yeah, we're going to be heading over there soon if you want to ride. I'm like, hell yeah, I don't want to pay for an Uber myself. Like
better and better.
From Barclays to downtown Manhattan, like, yeah, absolutely, I'll hop in with you guys. That sounds insanely expensive.
Yeah. Do you have any queso while we ride? Like, that would have made this whole thing better. That's all I need.
Like, one more pick. Influencers were mentioned, and Cool Cats jerseys were mentioned. So a couple more photos here from an IRL event, and then we'll move on to our game.
Oh, nice.
Check out these guys. What up?
Yeah.
So, these are from various events that we've had. These were all very low-key IRL events because that's where we really started for the first year. Because we weren't getting funding or anything like that. And really kind of gets back to our roots of Rip Pack City, where we started. It was just something where mid-pandemic, I'm like, this Top Shot stuff is cool. Like, there's not really much of a social aspect to it. We're all kind of sitting in our corners online, playing on our phones and stuff. And I'm like, how do we get people like out to do this? How do we make friends kind of through it? And so I started collecting the Cool Cat set, finished it. And part of that, there was somewhere on there where they were like, put where you live on this map. Let's see where all the Cool Cats live. And I was like, God damn, there is a handful of other Cool Cats here in like the Portland area. that's kind of wild. I should reach out to them. And so I started doing that, and I then organized a little event at a bar by me to open some packs. I think it was the Hustle and Show S2 second drop. And I'm like, this was cool. Started scaling it up a little bit. And that's when people like Alexo, and I think he's in all 3 photos.
Yeah, of course he's everywhere.
Yeah,
like
he started coming out. We found out that he lived like 3 blocks from me, and he started coming out to events and everything like that. Then you got guys like Filthy there also with me in the Cool Cats jerseys. But complete side fact here. I got hired full-time in my normie job about 5 months ago, and it was from somebody within the Rip Pack City community. In the top left photo there is my company's CEO and his wife. And when I saw they were hiring about 6 months ago or so, I just texted him like, hey, I see you're hiring. I would love the shot to interview for this. And he's just like, yeah, no problem, man. And next thing I know, I'm working there. So that is my full-time job. Shout out to Kyle and Jen.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Awesome, man. Congratulations.
So it's cool that like just doing these kind of events, meeting all these different people from all different walks of life has provided so many different opportunities for me, whether it's that my full-time job, meeting all these different people, going to New York for NFT NYC because I was there for work with Eternal, going to the draft, meeting Roham a few times, both there at NFT NYC and at NBA Con, which was the second picture there. So done a lot of things for me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, you hear that, C&C? Quit your job, join Top Shot, and you're going to get a new gig. You're going to get married, going to make a family, go to Amsterdam. Like, the world's your oyster.
Hang out with NBA players, top
there you go. Meeting CEOs of companies. I love it. Hey, Glenn, tell Trevor about our new game.
So we have a new game where we take players that used to play for your team, in this case the Blazers, and we show you a photo, and then you gotta just see if it's just by the photo if you can name that player. So it kind of tests your fandom, see if you're just a casual fan or if you actually pay attention. But some of them might be a little older too, not super old. Hopefully you know these.
Yeah. Hopefully you were alive and Glenn didn't go too crazy back in his
Oh yeah, shit.
Name that player.
Not that long ago.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. We were doing one at a time, and I think we're gonna move it to 3.
We're gonna show one picture at a time, though. Right?
One picture at a time. But I want to give you multiple chances here.
All right, and if you don't get all 3, you got to send one of us your LeBron record breaker.
It's locked up. Good luck.
We'll wait. It's okay.
Name that player. Player number 1.
The suspense is killing us.
It is. Who you got?
Cool.
That's T-Law.
There you go.
Oh,
for the casuals out there, who's T-Law?
Travis Outlaw.
There we go. We got a full name out of him.
All right. So I didn't go back too far.
He nickname and all. I love it. 1 for 1.
Carrying the double balls.
All right. Let's test him a little bit. This is, to me, a little easy, but
yeah. I don't know how hard to make it yet. I don't know what everyone's background is.
That's Abbas.
Yeah, baby. Look at that picture. He looks like he should be a bouncer outside a nightclub and like not a basketball player.
Sir, we're at capacity.
So when I was a kid, Sabonis was on the team and I didn't know better. And my friends and I called him Boner.
That'll happen as a young man.
Like that means, Boner.
And so we didn't know what that was, and yeah, once we realized, we're like, we should probably stop calling him that.
I went to high school with a Boner.
I bet you did.
I bet every day.
He was there every day.
Yeah, but it's a he, huh?
He followed me to Penn State too.
That's the clip from this episode right there.
Shout out to Boner.
All right, the last Blazer for name that player.
I should have went back further. I didn't see again. I don't know what everyone's individual knowledge
you
is.
did a
Oh
great
man,
job.
it's the 3-time Blazer, Steve Blake.
There you go.
Steve Blake.
He had different jerseys on in all the
three-time
different photos.
Blazer.
That's probably why.
He kept wanting to come back here, and we kept trading his ass away, and then he'd come back in free agency. So yeah, I'm pretty sure he had 3 different stints with the Blazers. And so I think he signed in free agency each time, and then we traded his ass out away.
That's hilarious, by the way.
Yeah, so you got all 3.
Didn't know that.
Congratulations. You passed the test.
Dude, 3 for 3.
Yeah,
Yo.
First time somebody got 3 and they went
That's right.
3 for 3, 100%. Love
Well,
it.
to be fair, it's the first time we did 3.
To be fair.
But you still have that distinction.
Sorry, none of you Letterkenny fans out there. It's okay.
Great job, JDB. Before I forget, I do want to give a shout out to our C&C crew, everybody watching out there. If you are new to the group, check out collectinandconnectin.com, as well as we're on Discord, on Twitter, Instagram. Come hang out with us. We're having a good time. And JDB is in there with the rest of the group, and we're always hanging out, talking ball.
Yeah. So who are you back to basketball real quick? Who are you excited about? I mean, they have some young players, some young pieces. And who are you looking at as who's your favorite Blazer right now? That's a good one.
I'd probably say Shaden. His athleticism is like ridiculous. And I was at the draft, like I mentioned, when we did draft him there. So that was really cool. My first draft I've ever been to see him out there be picked up. And I ran into him a few hours before the draft. I was going to the NFL all day coffee shop activation, which was a few blocks away from me. And I literally ran into Chet Holmgren in the middle of a crosswalk. And I'm like, what the? And I look behind him, and it's all the rookies in the draft class. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I start taking photos, just like casually, like taking a bunch of them, just trying to get of everyone. I'm like, one of these guys is going to be a Blazer. And so they were all getting onto the buses and such. But yeah, no, it was cool. And I really like Shaden. I met him last year at an event, got some photos with him.
He's an all-around player too, because he plays defense and he does a little bit of everything.
Yeah, he's really taking a big step in terms of the skill side. You know, he's always been just an absolutely insane freak athlete, but the fact that he's really working on the skill side of things and has shown that there is a level of improvement there. And he's so young still that he's got some more leaps to make. And I think he is going to really make that over the next, he's leading the league right now in minutes per game somehow when he started the season as a bench player. But I'm really excited to see where he goes with it, because I think his potential is really high. And probably,
what do you think about Ayton so far?
He's doing really well on rebounding, some like little mid-range shots. He just seems dead on with them. Sometimes defensively he's engaged. I can see why Phoenix at times thought he would kind of disengage from games. I've seen it a little bit. I know there was the viral clip that went out recently when he was setting really bad screens. So I can see that a little bit, but then there are times when he seems like the type that's easy to get disengaged, but if you're able to spoon feed him a little bit and keep him in there, he's really good.
It's funny you said that. Glenn will share a viral illegal screen clip on you.
What, for Ayton?
For anybody, you've sent me multiple.
No, Bam is the guy that sets the most illegal screens by far. You can actually Google it, and he decimates people.
I don't trust Google. I trust Wiki, the Wiki Icky Sticky.
Yeah, you can look it up. Bam kills people on moving screens. Anyway, that's another story. Wait till we have Dream on to talk about that more.
Dude, I've been staring at your floaty hat this whole time, and I know you're doing some cool stuff. Talk to us a little bit about that before we wrap up.
Yeah, so it's been about 15 months that Mike and I first started talking at Mike MBL, and he brought me to be a part of their team in a part-time capacity, which is great since I am working full-time elsewhere. But before that, I was at Eternal also on Flow for all of 2022 until basically I got on with Floaty. But it's been really cool. When we first started, it was pretty much just loans and rentals that we were doing. And since then, we've opened up a secondary marketplace. And, oh, man, it caught me without doing my fact checking, but I'm going to say 7 out of the top 10 sales on Flow blockchain for 2023 have been on Floaty. So we've really kind of carved out a place as like for like large purchases, people are doing it on Floaty. As we just had one last Wednesday, which was the LeBron Cosmic for 27K, which was the highest of the year across all of Flow. Same day, somebody bought a Steph Curry jersey debut. And I think that was like 17 or 18K. So we've had a lot of big sales. And
in case anybody's unaware, why would somebody go to Floaty for a big purchase like that?
Break down Floaty in case there's anyone that doesn't really know what that is. And
elevator speech. What do you got?
Yeah, so Floaty is a third-party marketplace. We are integrated with Dapper Wallet and non-custodial options, so people are able to basically use any type of wallet or currency that is on Flow blockchain in order to do these purchases. A lot of people like it because we charge only 2% in marketplace fees versus like 5% that you're going to be paying when you go on and purchase from the TopShot marketplace itself. And in addition to that, a big thing that we're doing is offers. So I know they're like, well, I can do offers on TopShot. That's it. Across NFL all day, UFC Strike, La Liga, Jolly Jokers, anything like that. I think there's one other marketplace that does offers, but they only offer it on a few collections. For all those ones I mentioned and more, you're only able to do that on Floaty, which is great because then a lot of NFL all day and UFC collectors like, I need offers, and Floaty is the only place to do that. And so a lot of the big sales happen on Floaty because people are realizing that as a seller, they can save more money, that 3%, by transacting on Floaty itself instead of TopShot Marketplace.
Very cool. Saving that 3% seems like the big deal, but I think offers is definitely going to be another notch in the belt because that's something that we all really loved about TopShot. So having that as a part of the marketplace is really going to help Floaty for sure.
Absolutely.
All the platforms you mentioned, because that's something they've been wanting and needing and wanting to have as an option. There's no other place except for Floaty, which is cool because it makes you kind of the center place for all of those things across the platform. So
absolutely, it's something we really hang our hat on, and we really have embraced the grails on Floaty mentality, and that's from these big sales. That's from doing things like adding filters into both the marketplace and the collection and your own profile for #1 cereal, jersey cereal, perfect cereal, because we know that those are kind of the big, cereals that people want in their collection. So not only can they go and check out the ones in their own collection that fit those criteria, but they can go and look what's in the marketplace, what's overall in the collection. If I want to go find a LeBron perfect or jersey cereal across all of them, they can apply those filters and start to figure out, okay, maybe I need to go make an offer on this random LeBron jersey cereal from S3. And they can look at every moment of his that fits those criteria, even if it's not listed.
Very cool.
So Floaty really, the two big things, mottos are going to be grails on Floaty and Floaty built for collectors by collectors. Obviously, I'm very active in TopShot streets, but you got someone like MBL, who is one of the largest collectors on the platform, who really kind of spearheaded this whole platform as our CEO.
For sure. We see him everywhere, and we've already shown it that we see you everywhere. We picked a portion of the pictures and media that's out there of you. There's a lot more we could have shared. So this was a lot of fun, man. You have on your Twitter bio, Zombieland quote, the rule number 32, enjoy the little things. Man, that's what we're doing here. Enjoying the little things, collecting and connecting. This is so much fun. Thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely, man. You know, that saying really resonated with me. You know, I was the type that I had all those kind of rule sheets all over, whether it was Wedding Crashers, Zombie Land.
Rule number 72, no excuses. Play like a champion.
Absolutely. And one of my favorite hip hop artists
out there,
XV, used that in a song, and I'm like, yeah,
love it.
Enjoy the little things.
Love it. Yeah. King Brett's favorite rule on Zombieland is number 18, limber up. So on that one, we got to get out of here.
He's not wrong.
You, JDB, Shades, Glenn, appreciate you. King Brett, all of C&C. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next time.
JDB, you're the man.
Take care, everyone.